Hi, Roger Hill, Weathering Heights Consulting. This is the VELCO Weather Hazards Outlook. This will be valid today, Monday, the December the 1st, valid through next Sunday, Pearl Harbor Day, December the 7th. And we're looking currently at the surface observations overlaid with the mapping here, and you can see you can't really see it, but there is a cold front that's moving on through right through here. Temperature is much colder to the north. We're also seeing a band of clouds, a little bit of precipitation down off to the southwest of our region across this neck of the woods here. But for us, we're looking at basically temperatures that are going to be continuing to fall as we get into the afternoon and setting up with some teens overnight tonight. Temperatures upstream are very, very cold. You can see temperatures well below zero here, and there's quite the snowpack that's through even into, of course, northern Vermont, but especially north of the St. Lawrence River Valley, north of the Great Lakes. This area is seeing very, very cold air masses recently, and one is beginning to move in with 15 below right there. And this is the morning drone flight. You can see this is looking southeast of my location toward the Barre Montpelier Airport. We had a frontal passage taking place, and that cold front was pretty spectacular in terms of a little gust of wind here just about the time of the drone flight, kind of shifting the quadcopter around and very turbulent conditions here. But nothing to report in terms of precipitation this morning, very, very limited. And a little bit of snow on the ground has been in the process of melting with temperatures basically in the 40s. Now taking a look at the GFS ensemble, this is centered on Burlington. A little bit of snow this morning, really never really materialized. Maybe a tiny, tiny bit of a few raindrops mixed in, but really the only main concern here is the next system. This is going to happen. It looks like it comes in on Tuesday night and into the day on Wednesday. And temperatures will be warm aloft or warming aloft, warm enough for rain. We'll get to that in a second. And then a few other weather systems here that are not very, very well modeled right now down the road. Now, this goes from December 1st through the 7th of December. So we're seeing, once again, kind of cold enough to snow and then warm enough to see a little rain mix here down the road, with the European model being the better model right now, indicating that down the road. Okay, looking at the GFS using temperatures right now, you can see it gets cold, it gets warm, it gets cold, gets a little bit warmer, and models really have some trouble here by numerous departures here. The whiskers or plumes or strings are really not as consolidated or concentrated. Up to that point, we're pretty good through here, through about the 4th or 5th of December based on the GFS model. But you can see what goes on. We have temperatures above normal. So this is temperatures at 32 degrees at surface, and then overnight, pretty cold night, and then that'll be followed by another warm up, and then cold, and so forth. Now at 850 millibars, approximate level to determine whether it's raindrops or snowflakes. We're looking at raindrops here, falls into a pattern that will feature snowflakes, at least on the front end of the next incoming storm, which is a pretty not significant weather system. And then we're looking at a little bit of mixing here, and then cold enough to snow, and potentially some mixing down the road, but this is very, very close here. We're talking down the road toward next weekend. We have one good day, as a matter of fact. That's going to be happening on Tuesday with the best project weather day, and it comes at the cost of some pretty cold temperatures at night. Let's take a look at that. And this is this morning here. Temperatures basically in the 40s with a pretty good plunge here. Now, by tomorrow morning, we're looking at temperatures basically in the teens and some low teens at that. And then we start to see kind of a slow rise during the afternoon on into Tuesday and into Wednesday. And it looks like the peak, there will be really no overnight low. Temperatures will continue to make a rise, and somewhere around here, temperatures getting back near 40, and then another fall in temperature with another cold night running about 15 degrees by Friday morning. There is some issues here with some stronger gusty winds, and I'll show you that in a second. Now, roughly about Wednesday afternoon or into really Wednesday night, you can see a little bit of a peak here, and these temperatures, wind speeds are up around 50 miles per hour. I would not worry too much about the wind speeds here, but it does indicate the time, and that basically is during the overnight period Wednesday night. Or we could see some pretty gusty northwest winds. Right now, latest modeling most of the computer modeling world is giving us winds that may exceed 40 miles per hour. It doesn't look like a huge event, but it would be a northwest wind, and so some downsloping is a possibility along your southeastern slopes of the Green Mountains. This may favor a little bit more of a wind issue across portions of Windsor County into Windham County, sometimes Orange County, sometimes the Mad River Valley region of southwestern Washington County, and we'll have to watch here down the road. This would be again Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night into the Thursday morning. Getting back to precipitation, this is the 7-day total precipitation valid to next Monday morning, covering right through the weekend. So roughly in Vermont here, we're looking at roughly that's about a half an inch, only a quarter of an inch off to the west of us. So a relatively dry period for the northern tier areas, but we do have an Ohio Valley storm system that will catch us. And then out west, they're getting much needed rain. California looks like it's going to be picking up some decent rainfall. All good news there. Probably some Sierra snow and Pacific Northwest as well. But overall conditions are such that we dry out in the middle part of the country, and we have one major storm system that moves on through the Ohio River Valley, which I'll show you here in a second. Now, this is the weighted maximum temperatures valid again into this coming weekend. And overall, we have basically near normal around Vermont, and that's the reason why, because we have the max temperatures and then the minimum temperatures occurring pretty much back to back. It weights out as neutral. About 3 days later, we're still looking at neutral, but notice a major warm-up starting to take place across much of the lower 48 United States. Of course, the northeast United States will be the last to see that. That'll happen sometime, it looks like next week. Okay, this is the frontal system that's moving through right now, as you can see, stretching in from parts of Arkansas and then right back into the northeast United States into northern Vermont. And it looks like by this afternoon the precipitation with that washes out, and hence we're not really seeing a whole lot. We have an area of higher pressure located just a little bit west of Lake Michigan, and this is the area of higher pressure that will track into Quebec and bring us cold weather, a cold night tonight, and a pretty groovy day tomorrow. It looks like a decent project weather day with 1045 millibar high. Now that exits out, we starts to draw in another weather system. We're starting to see precipitation across portions of Pennsylvania, the southern tier of New York. That's going to be moving on into Vermont during, it looks like Tuesday night and into Wednesday morning. Starting out with snow, probably a little bit of wet snow, just a travel issue, not a utility issue. And then eventually temperatures do warm back up, so we'll see a little bit of a warming that will take place, and the precipitation gradually exits out of the region. But a cold front comes through, and that cold front, you might notice the barometric pressure isobars here are a little closer together, so that means strong gusty winds. We might see winds gusting as high as locally 40, 45 miles per hour. These are northwesterly winds as opposed to southeasterly, as we've been seeing frequently. These northwesterly winds typically cause a little bit more problems along the eastern side of Vermont, and especially southeastern Vermont counties. High pressure then builds in as we get into the mid part of the day on Thursday. 1038 millibar high pressure center over Quebec once again brings us cold weather as those winds flush in some cold weather. And then we're looking at that system return flow once again towards Saturday and Sunday with some snow, probably some mixed precipitation once again working into the region. This looks to be a little bit more healthy across portions of southern Vermont, and so along about Saturday into Sunday, something we'll have to watch down the road. Very busy weather pattern across our region, however. And this is 925 millibar temperatures, and you can see the coldest weather to the north of Vermont across Quebec. Again, this is going to be valid tomorrow morning. That would be Tuesday morning. And then that moves on out, and we start to see an influx of warmer air work into the state of Vermont. You see the green temperatures, those were above freezing, with freezing mark at the blue line here. So we oscillate back and forth in temperature, and this is going to be the case. And each one of these changes, of course, means another weather system working on through the region. There's another cold bout situated along about Thursday night, Friday morning, and then another warm-up starts to work into the state of Vermont. Temperatures going above the freezing mark. So all in all, it's going to be very, very changeable as we head right into the weekend with another cool down scene then. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights Consulting.